mikadesigns.com. We look forward to helping you make your mark.
Hey travelers, do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call, because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. Our prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find ridiculously low prices for you. Call SmartFares today and get the best price on your next flight. Guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first class tickets.
855-325-1820. 855-325-1820. That's 855-325-1820. Have you ever met a sick person in your life that enjoys paying? No one does. If you can't sleep at night because you have a huge problem with the IRS, I've got some free advice for you. This service is strictly limited to individuals that owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes. And if you qualify, we can guarantee that you won't be writing a big fat check to the IRS, or our services cost you nothing. The first 100 people that call today will get a free tax consultation worth $500. Stop worrying about your IRS problem. We can help you, we promise. Call the tax doctor right now. I mean right now, to learn more. 800-240-4587. 800-240-4587. 800-240-4587. That's 800-240-4587.
You're listening to Joco Community Radio.
All right, everybody. Hello, Job Seeker Nation. I don't see Dana yet. I know she's there, but I don't see her picture yet. But I want to tell you guys this before we get started. This show is dedicated to give you guys good information to know why you're in job search that can help fill out some of those bottlenecks that you run into. Rex and I are going to be talking about that today. We're going to be talking, guys, about the different platforms and things on AI, because it's specializing now. And I want you guys to know to go to NTX Radio and check out everything that is available to you there. Here's why I'm saying this, because a lot of folks have good ideas about things they want to launch, ideas you want to launch, and you might want to have your own radio show or podcast. There is a lady named Tiffany Carlin, Hurd is her last name. And she is a lady that I would be glad to connect you guys with if you have an interest in having your own radio show and all that kind of thing. And I see Dana, so I'm going to shut up and let her take over her part. Can you hear me, Dana?
Yes, I don't know what's going on. This is my internet. I was frozen and Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you, but your face is still frozen, but that's okay. You got a pretty face.
Okay. Oh, you're so sweet. Well, okay. Thank you. My internet kind of conked out on me and I was just sitting stage because of my internet, but I am back. And we are just so excited and honored to be here today. As you know.
Well, there she goes again. So, guys, we're in a technology age, and a lot of what we're talking about today, guys, affects the relationships or the ability for you guys to build a relationship with a recruiter or hiring manager. I'll explain that later, but I'm excited because we got Rex Saoit with us today. And you know what, guys? The reason that I do what I do is Rex. The first person that I was told to connect with when I decided I wanted to start networking was this dude named Rex Saoit. I'm like, that's a funny last name, but I can say it and I can spell it now, so it's cool. So we're excited to have Rex with us. And Dana, are you back? Can you hear me? Dana's still working on her Wi-Fi connection. I have been having a problem with my Wi-Fi connection. But guys, I'm going to start us off today with, I got you now.
Good.
Can you hear me?
I was there talking.
I was trying to fill in for you when you popped out. So guys, what I want to do is start you off. I've got a wonderful job for people that are in sales. If you have been a salesperson, if you sold services or products, it's simple as that. I need to talk to you. There's a new company in town that's expanding in Dallas-Fort Worth, and they do payroll services, and they need somebody to sell their payroll service. Now, this is a pretty nicely paid position. The base pay is $95K, and if you hit your quota, which is not hard to do from what I'm understanding, you'll probably be at about 150 or 160K. So contact me, guys, at foster.williams@sbcglobal.net. And of course, you can find me on LinkedIn. So you guys, you'll see my email address, phone number, everything. Even if you're not connected with me, all my information is out there. So contact me if you are a salesperson. Now, guys, I'm going to tell you something. If you have not a lot of experience in sales on your resume, don't try to do that. When we're in job search, we try to apply for a lot of things that we know we're not a fit for. And then when we don't hear anything back from the recruiter or hiring manager, it gets frustrating. So don't do yourself like that, guys. Apply and put your experience in the positions that is. I've posted this job everywhere. And when you guys see the job posting, that's what we're looking for. We're not looking for somebody that's not in sales. This is a sales position. So I'm not fussing. I'm just trying to tell you all the truth. That's what I do. They call me the Jobfather. My name's Foster Williams. But anyway, getting back to our show, I'm going to give you guys a quick dad joke because you know what? Rex and I both are dads. And Rex and I have been brothers for years. I mean, my goodness, Rex and I have probably known each other 20, 25 years. And I'm gonna give you guys a real lame dad joke that I picked up yesterday. Okay, so here we go. I dug up the lawn to see if the grass is really green on the other side. You hear that the grass is always green on the other side. So I dug up the lawn to see if that was true, and it wasn't. It's just brown. Dana's not here Dana's technology is not allowing her to be in so she can make fun of me and my jokes. So, okay, guys, this is Rex Saoit. There he is right there. Now, I want to tell you guys something about Rex. Rex is a longtime HR leader and talent acquisition as well. And over our years and our experience, Rex and I have figured out that, how we help will be telling people what's going on in the network and how it works. And when we apply for a job, how it happens and all that kind of stuff. So now we got this stuff called AI now, and we want to talk about AI. And I love Rex's opinion on things. So we got a chance to hear from Rex today. So we're going to have a whole show with Rex. And then the second part of the show, we're going to talk about bottlenecks and all kinds of stuff that's out there that you guys run into, that you guys have questions about. Dana is working out her technology, so she'll be with us soon. So good morning, Rex. Rex is out in South Carolina, guys. Don't we look, man, look at us. We look like we're right in the same studio, don't we?
It does.
I love it.
Can you hear me, Foster?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay,
just
super.
fine. Let's talk about this AI thing. ChatGPT, I guess, was the first thing that we became cognizant with, but there's other things now, and I think we're going to talk about some of that. I'm going to let you talk.
Yeah, Foster, I wanted to look at something very, very specific in the job search area, and it's using AI specifically in your salary negotiations. To my knowledge, no one has taught any of this content, so a lot of people are getting it firsthand. The first thing that people have to know is that the salary negotiation goes on every minute, every second that you're on the interview.
That's right.
What I mean by that is that as recruiters, Foster knows this, Mez knows this, Dana knows this. We have to make sure that the individual's salary expectation aligns with the budget expectations of the job. Foster has hired a lot of people. If he brings on Rex as a recruiter, he tells me, Rex, I've got a budget of $100,000 for this position. I have to stay within that budget. So if it's a situation where, for example, you go into a gas station and there is no pricing for premium gas, you ask the gas station attendant how much is it for premium gas. That attendant never says, well, what can you pay me?
Yeah.
You have to cut. This is principle number one. As the job seeker, in terms of salary negotiations, you have to be very, very prompt, convicted, and own the salary that you want. If it's not my first question that I'm going to ask, it's going to be the third question that I'm going to ask Foster. Foster's the job seeker. I'm going to ask you, how's it going today? Are you still interested in the job, and what salary expectations that you have?
Yep.
Too many people underestimate this question. And I'll tell you why, Foster. Two things. Number one, people think that they're getting lowballed.
Yeah, they do.
Number two, they don't want to give a salary where they think that the salary will disqualify you in the interviewing process. Does that ever happen? Have I ever disqualified an individual that is looking for, let's say, $175,000 when Foster has given me a $100,000 a budget for this position? Yes, I've had to do that because Foster has told me what I'm looking to pay for premium gas is $100,000. If the individual says 175, if you're dealing with a good recruiter, guys, they will ask you, are you flexible in that salary range?
Absolutely.
Number one, or number two, they'll come clean with you. And then they'll say, my salary expectation is $100K. 9 times out of 10, that recruiter will not be honest with you. I've got to be I've got to be true to reality. If you're dealing with a good recruiter, Foster, Rex, Dana will level with you. Guess what? Because truth gets you to the relationship.
That's right.
And it gets you to trust. If the individual says, no, I have to stay at 175K, I say, thank you, but no, thank you. If you change your mind, please give me a phone call back.
Yeah, it's not the thing.
What I want to do is tell people, when I ask the question, what kind of salary do you want? I get the art of the deal script, and it's, well, what are you willing to pay? And I say, what do you want? And they say, what are you willing to pay? And I won't play that dance. You own your salary expectation. You own your salary offer.
Yeah, that's a losing conversation.
If I had a situation where I played that dance, it was fast track disco, and I couldn't get the salary that I wanted from the guy. So, excuse me, sir, as soon as you know what kind of salary you're looking for, please give me a phone call. Never heard back from him. So you have to tell me what the price of gas is up front. Now, this is where I think salary negotiation is the most intimate part, Foster, of the process, because that salary buys you roof over your head, food on the table, Bobby's baseball, and Sally's ballet lessons. So you have to understand that. I won't give you a hint. I won't give you a clue. Actually, I have. I will tell you if Foster asks me, what are you willing to pay? I'm willing to pay in the 90s, maybe the low hundreds, to get you on board or get you that next interview. That's fair, that's honest, that's trustworthy, and that's relationship. But if I get a hem, a haw, and say, I'm not sure if that's enough. Thank you, sir. As soon as you figure out what your salary expectations are, give me a phone call. This is where I found AI as being very, very helpful. You can now go to, and I'm not a fan, just to let people know, it might tick people off. I am not a fan of ChatGPT. My recommendation, number one, as a matter of fact, for the people on the phone call, I recommend highly to have a 1-2 punch for AI. For number one for me, Foster, is Grok. I like the interface. It's audio. You could ask the questions and talk like it's a real human being. Number two, I like Claude. Claude is so much that for both of them, I will pay for the monthly prescription for both. Grok gives you a little bit more creativity, out of the box thinking.
And that's GROC, right, Rex?
Yes, GROC. Claude is exactly how it's pronounced. That gives you a little bit of information that is more visual data. So ChatGPT just not has kept up with that. Your homework assignment for your interview, let's say it's a phone interview, is to research two things. What is the market paying? And what is the market paying for the value that you have? Rex, what's the difference? The market in San Francisco is different from the market in Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
Much different.
You have to understand if you're willing to relocate to Dallas, Houston, New York, Detroit. You now have to know 5 salary ranges. I didn't say salary, I said salary ranges. What I mean by that is that what the recruiter is listening for is what? 100K, because Foster told me that. If you say, I'm looking for the mid 90s to the low 100 teens, that's my salary range that I'm looking for. It's range that you're looking for. Guess what? When I'm listening for that, what do I listen for? Do I listen for the maximum or do I listen for the minimum? I listen for the minimum, because the mid 90s matches what my hiring manager wants. So you get to go forward into the process, but you have to know that. The best way that AI can come to you for that information, go to Grok, ask Grok, this is the salary. This is the salary range that I'm looking for. I have 17 years in healthcare as a director in radiology. Most of my experience is on the is on the East Coast. What salary range is competitive for the market that I have? They will have an answer. I want you to cross-reference that by going to, this is the best app that's out there right now for what you're looking for, salary.com. Salary.com can, by geography, by job title, come up with a salary range that is competitive in the market that you have. The third one that I want you to go to is glassdoor.com. They can get specific to the job title. So now you've cross-referenced 3 areas. Why is that helpful? It's helpful because you now know what your worth is in the market. All you have to do is one more thing: fit the value and skills that you have to the market value that you're looking at right now. No, understand what I'm talking about. I'm talking about value in terms of not responsibilities, accomplishments. I led the Salesforce team in business development to increase the gross revenue for this new product launch to $2.5 million in the first year, with a projected 7.2 million. In the rest, that's really specific. Guess what, guys? The general answer does not get you the offer.
Yeah.
You'd better be point perfect, SEALs Team 6 accurate with what you're looking for and how you can add value and ROI. I'm going to borrow something that Dirk Spencer said about 3 weeks ago. What is the problem that you want to solve? And just bore directly into that problem. This is the skills that I have. This is the value that I bring. This is the problems that I can solve for you. And the salary that I'm looking for is mid 90s to high to mid 110. So 115K is what you look at.
Uh-huh.
You're going through the process. You're going through the process again. Every minute that you're on a call for an interview, phone interview, panel interview, it's a salary negotiation. Understand that. Foster, I'm going to go over an answer that.
Okay.
Chris,
and I'll share an observation that I've seen in Jobsearch with you guys when you do that.
No, go ahead, Foster. Go ahead now.
One observation that I've seen, job seekers, we have to understand psychology a lot of times. When we lose our jobs, that's a traumatic thing, and we don't think about it, but we get desperate. On the whole, what I'm seeing is people are accepting jobs at $15,000, $20,000, $25,000 less salary than what you're used to making, and you're justifying that, which is easy to do. But you know what? You guys do not stay at that job. Eventually, if you stay active in this network is huge. We're in probably 25 states because of this radio show. And you know what, guys? We're not going to stay at that job, because eventually that job that pays us where we need to be to take care of our kids, like Rex was talking about earlier, to take care of the needs that our wives and our livelihoods need to have, we're going to accept that job. And a lot of us do not take the time to figure out what we're plugging ourselves into. We've got this huge network that we need to be using to find out what's going on in some of these companies. But I understand having to take a job to make ends meet, but it never makes ends meet. I usually see those people that take a job at $15,000, $20,000, $25,000 less salary than what they're used to. I will see them back in my hands in about 3 months. And 3 months is not enough time to pay all those bills that are pressing in on you. I just wanted to say that, because some of the stuff that Rex is talking about is part and parcel towards an understanding of that.
Mm-hmm. Foster, and what I like about that, take what Foster says as the 11th commandment. If there was an 11th commandment that came down from Mount Sinai, listen to what he's doing. And what he's saying is that you can give permission to settle, but understand, if you settle, there's a risk there of saying, gee, I just didn't do the math. I didn't do the calculus. I didn't do my prep, and I took something that came next along, and I had to take a 33% reduction of what I was first making.
Ooh, that's a haircut.
So being able to set that expectation early, during, and at the end of the process. Now, I want you to use this language, guys, because recruiters will respect this. My salary range that I'm looking for, again, range that I'm looking for, it's not just a number, is mid 90s to mid 110s, hundreds. But that is considering more review of your benefits and the role itself.
Right.
Let me tell you why. Most big companies right now will spend, and these are the top companies, will spend 30% in benefits for you. So that 100,000K job is now really 130K, including your benefits. Rex, what sort of benefits are these? I haven't heard of these. Of course you have. 401K puts money in your pocket. Any sort of bonus puts money in your pocket. 401K is the best one. Rex, what's competitive? Right now, most Fortune 500 companies listen for 6%. If you put in 6%, we will match you to 3%. For the better Fortune 100 companies, they'll say, if you put in 6%, we'll match you dollar for 6%. Foster, guess what the highest number was for 401K contribution?
I can't wait to hear this because, I've seen it go up to 5. I've seen it go up to 6 in some places, but I don't generally see numbers above that. But I know there's some people out there that are beating that.
20%.
Wow.
You put in 20%, we will match you dollar for dollar up to 20%.
Wow.
That's the highest I've heard.
Oh, okay. Good. Okay. Awesome.
So listen for that. Also, listen for what is the medical program or benefit that I have looking at your job right now. If anyone knows what COBRA benefits are like and how much it costs, COBRA benefits for one person on the average is $1,200. Okay. Generally speaking, Fortune 500 companies will pay 70% of the monthly medical premium. Actually, about 74%, Foster. For the family, it goes down to maybe 58%, 62% for you, spouse, and children. So listen for that. Hey, Rex, that's a lot of information to get. Listen, it's only your job. It's only your salary. It's only benefits for 401k future. It's only benefits for health, medical, and well-being. You got to take that. You got to take all of that into account because that is what's called total compensation for the people that are that are HR people
in the HR
right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Now this is a question that Chris Voss, which was he's a FBI hostage negotiator.
Yeah.
Okay. He always asks this question, and I'm thinking about the boldness about this. But he says, always do this. What guarantees can you give me so that I can be put as part of a project team that is mission critical for this company's future? What
guarantees? Hey, Rex, let's continue this when we come back. I hear the music. We're going to commercial. And you guys pay attention to those commercials.
Why have thousands of aspiring authors teamed up with Christian Faith Publishing to publish their book? Because Christian Faith Publishing is an author-friendly publisher who understands that your labor is more than just a book. We provide authors freedom and flexibility throughout the publishing process, professional book editing, award-winning design, and some of the highest royalty structures in the publishing industry. And as always, you will retain 100% of the rights to your book.
I was looking to find a company that I could trust, one that assisted in the editing process completely.
The most important qualities that I was looking for was a publisher who was honest and upfront, no hidden costs or fees, and owning the rights to my own work.
Christian Faith Publishing will publish, market, and sell your books in all major bookstores, online booksellers, as well as specialty Christian bookstores. Call for your free author submission kit. 800-978-4812. 800-978-4812. 800-978-4812. That's 800-978-4812.
Here's important new information from the Diabetes Solution Center for you, a family member, or a loved one suffering with diabetes. If you have lost your provider, or if you need a provider for diabetic supplies, you may qualify to receive your diabetic testing supplies now with little or no out-of-pocket cost, regardless of your age. All you need is Medicare or private insurance to be potentially eligible. Call the Diabetes Solution Center right now for details. Just takes a couple of minutes. Our friendly, knowledgeable agents will give you free, no-obligation information, handle all the insurance paperwork, and make sure your supplies are delivered directly to your door for free.
Call U.S. Medical Supply 24 hours a day. 800-597-9323. 800-597-9323. 800-597-9323. Call right now. 800-597-9323.
Joco Community Radio. Listen live at tunein.com.
Okay, guys, we're back. We're going to continue this conversation, but I'm gonna make you guys roll your eyes in your head and for another dad joke for the second half of the show.
Okay.
So I went to this concert, and unfortunately, the orchestra conductor guy got struck with lightning. Unfortunately, it was a good conductor. So there you go. So Yolanda Chen, and you guys grade me on that one. Rex, I probably didn't do the best of delivering that joke, but I think people can understand that.
Hey, Foster, before I continue, two things. Number one, Foster, interrupt me whenever you think that you can enrich, the conversation. I'm Moses and you're the burning bush.
Oh,
so you just interrupt me. The second thing is that I am starting a 501c3 nonprofit, veterans only. It's called Vet Path, to help veterans try to reintegrate back into their community through Jobsearch.
Yeah.
So we should be starting that. Our 501c3 should be approved in about the next 60 days. So I just want to let people know that.
Perfect. And I want to have you on the show more to talk about that kind of thing. That's a big need. And there is a misunderstanding with a lot of folks, not all, that are transitioning out of the military into the civilian life, and going into corporate America and all this kind of stuff. It is a remarkable difference in the two operating structures.
Yes. So the moral to the story that oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, let me talk now. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Go ahead, Rex. I think that's conversations that are going on in the operating room.
Okay. Chris Voss, and Foster knows this guy.
Yeah.
On the internet a lot.
Quite a bit. Yeah.
FBI hostage negotiator. Always ask the question, what guarantees can you give me to be part of projects that are mission critical to the success of the company? Now, Foster and I said, hey, there are no guarantees. I'm not going to put that in the job offer, but to soften what Chris is saying is, what initiatives or performance do you need to see from me so that I can be put into mission critical jobs that are critical to the success for the company?
That's right.
And guess what? Latch onto those.
Yes, and a good recruiter, guys, has a relationship. You know, I'm always talking about the relationship word with that hiring manager. If you cannot develop a good relationship with that hiring manager, your ability to serve him will be lacking in most cases. So sometimes those kind of questions we're able to glean out of our conversations with the hiring manager, and sometimes we can pass those on when we're talking about that job. Okay, I'm gonna shut up and let Rex talk.
Yeah, just to vector off what Foster said, that is much more appreciated by the hiring manager, because now you're tuned into what? Value and performance. The recruiter is looking for price point and qualification, generally speaking, and they say that, okay, this individual checks the boxes. I'm going to forward this individual to Dana and to Foster for their hiring manager interview.
Right.
But I like Chris Voss's approach of aggression in looking at that.
Yeah, Chris is very direct with the questions that he asks, but you can understand why. A lot of times those questions that Chris asks are not covered, but you can understand why those questions that Chris puts up are asked.
Yeah. So here's another, and I've sort of learned this from Foster.
Uh-oh, we're in trouble.
If you get the offer, always counter.
Yeah.
If you get the offer, always counter with an amount that you think is reasonable. And I'll go over my experience, Foster.
Yeah, lay it
9 times out of 10, if the individual says, "Hey, listen, I'm looking for $3,000 more," I go back to hiring management and say that, listen, to get this guy to close the offer and to get this guy coming in happy, can we see $3,000 more for this guy's offer? 9 times out of 10, I'll get a yes from my manager.
You know, that's true. 9 times out of 10, that's accurate.
Yeah. So take Foster's. I borrowed Foster's recommendation. Always counter. You get not because you ask not.
That is true. That is in the major book there.
Yeah. And I found out, Foster, anytime that I go to that final candidate and the manager says, "Rex, what's in the pipeline? Is there a good number 2 candidate?" There is never a good number 2 candidate.
No.
There's such a big difference between Dana and Rex down here. They said, okay, get Dana what she wants.
What used to always frustrate me, Rex, was that they never went to the second candidate. If the first candidate that they were excited about, now that's got a lot of money on the table, guys. When that hiring manager is excited about you, you'd be surprised some of the things. I was one of those candidates one time. And you know what, guys, they rarely go to that second candidate. We say, "Hey, you guys, you're excited about this second candidate, and we lost the first guy, but we've got another one right here. And you like this guy as much or almost as much, however you think about it." And they rarely go that way. And it used to fuss me. It used to make me mad because I have to get my recruiters re-engaged in the same thing that we just did all their work to do.
Exactly. You don't want to go to candidate number 2 because it's looking all over again. Yeah.
Hiring managers, I hope you're hearing me. A lot of this show is not just for job seekers. This show is for hiring managers and companies as well.
Yeah.
A lot of things we share are things that are critical things that we need to be thinking about in corporate America, especially as leaders. Mm-hmm. I was a senior leader. Rex was a senior leader. And there are a lot of things that we need to take into consideration, because a lot of times what we are looking for is not real prevalent in the market. When we buy a new software, when we adapt to a new methodology, it's new. There's not a lot of people with a lot of experience out there with the thing because they hadn't been there. So that's common sense. And if it's not common sense, guys, it should be. Get your minds on the real thing. I've had hiring managers ask me for experience with products. 10 years experience for a product has only been out 3 to 5 years. And I know Rex has been at it as long as I have. I know he's seen some of that.
Yeah. Foster, there was a question in the chat. And to answer the question, benefits is approximately 30% of the base salary for that individual. Now, Rex, qualify that for me. What does benefits mean? That means medical, dental, vision, 401k, education allocation. That also means PTO, sick leave, and vacation.
Yes.
So all of those things for the top companies can go up to 30%. That which is a big chunk of money.
And job seekers, ask if there's education allocation on those positions that you're talking about. The very things that we're here and we're having a conversation about, there has already been an idea in the hiring manager's head that, hey, this is where we want to go. I want to talk to this Saoit guy because it looks like he has experience that we need to have at this company. A lot of times the hiring managers are thinking, hey, Rex has been places that we haven't been and done things that we have not done here. So if I hire Rex, I can bring that into my company. So guys, these are some of the things that are going on. Share those experiences that you've had. There is a reason when you get with all the technology that we have now, when you get to a point to where a hiring manager wants to talk to you, lay it on them.
Yeah. There's not a whole many, or there aren't many things that you can control in the hiring process, but being truthful to yourself is one of them. And if you have to turn away from, listen, I'm sorry, I can't take 40% less than what I was. Who knows? It might be 15%, knowing that your benefits package. Listen, we're willing to go 50% of 9% of what you put into your 401k. That might those are offsets, Foster, that I don't see the smart candidate looking at or talking through.
Right. And those what I like to call those niceties, things that the company may not have tried before. You might want to list it as a competitive advantage. Don't be afraid to share those things and some of those thought processes you have in that operation of that particular job, and share what you're talking about through your experiences in your previous companies. How did you get that idea? Tell them the full life cycle. How did it end up? How was it accepted? Did it work? Was it a good process going forward in your methodology of operations for your company?
Yeah, Foster, if this is a good time to break for anything else, I know that we're on the clock. If there are any questions or any areas that you'd like to talk through that I can contribute to, it's 1:45. We can go that way. Or
you're an hour ahead of us, job seekers. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, put it in the chat. What I'd like for Rex and I to talk about is that very thing that I love talking about is when you are working, and a lot of times it is the internal recruiter at the company that has a lot more access to the hiring manager and finding out through that relationship what is it that hiring manager is trying to hire. Because when we see job postings, that job there probably, I would say 30 to 4, even 45% of what that hiring manager really wants to hire is not in that job posting. So if you have a recruiter that you're working with, find out what that experience level is. A lot of recruiters are just reaching out to us and they don't have the relationships with the companies that they're trying to get your permission to submit your resume to. And you need to be asking those companies what their to try to determine what their relationship is with that company. How long you've been working with the company? You know, who are you working with in the company? That kind of thing. How did all of this come about? Those questions being answered by those recruiters can tell you what do they really have a relationship or do they not? Because I'm going to tell you guys something. With all the technology that we have right now, if that company does not have an adequate relationship with the company that they're working with, they're trying to get you into, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. They're not gonna be able to make that communication to those guys in an effective manner enough to have them call this Rex Saoit. I know that Rex Saoit is the greatest mind that I've run into in job search. And I'm telling the person that I have a relationship with why I'm submitting Rex Saoit to you guys. Now, if I don't have a relationship with that person, they're not going to take a lot of credence in what I'm saying. Guys, this is just people stuff. It's common sense. Yes, we do need to, we connect and we do all this stuff, but do we have a relationship with that person? What Foster does as the Jobfather is not very successful if I am just doing this connecting thing. If I don't know you and I don't have a relationship with Rex Saoit, who I think we should connect to, more than likely, guys, that thing's not going to work. There are a lot of people out there that would like to help, but the time that we have on these jobs and all the technology that we have to help us do that kind of thing, it takes away from that interpersonal relationship that needs to be there. I know I'm sounding like an old fish, but you know what? That fish still swims. It still breathes oxygen, and and this shallow stuff. Guys, come on now. Let's use our brains. Okay, Rex, what are some of the things that you've seen? Some of these bottlenecks. Companies a lot of times have reached out to Rex and Foster and their teams to hire a certain thing. Then leadership in the company takes a different turn. They've got a different priority the next day, and there's not that much priority on that position. A lot of those positions get held up for a while. Oh, we want that money. We just got a new client. And we want to put money over here or whatever. And then all of a sudden, our dependence on getting that particular seat filled is not that important anymore. All of a sudden, those are things that recruiters have to go through. But guys, that's important. And many of you guys that are listening to this show are senior leaders like Rex and I were. And remember some of those things. Make those communications to your recruiters, to your hiring managers, what you're doing, because they're doing a lot of work to get this position filled that was an ultimate priority the day before. And then all of a sudden, the next day, the next week, we've changed priorities. And I can't get anything done. I found what they're looking for because they were all over me about this position. Now, all of a sudden, I can't even get them to talk about the thing. So, guys, I tell people the only thing wrong with working for a corporation is that people work there. There are people dynamics in all of this. Rex, what say you on that topic?
Yeah, to bounce off of what Foster had said, a lot of people, and it's true, they get ghosted in the process. I can't tell you how many times as a recruiter I get ghosted by the internal hiring manager after they've tried to light a fire, saying that, hey, show me the best candidates over the last week and tell me who the top 3 are. And then I can't get an answer out of that. Well, that's there. I think that people would be very surprised at how how many internal managers will ghost their internal recruiters for positions. Okay.
Absolutely.
Now, I want to go to a question that Crash Carson 14 had asked as a seeker. Do these general things change based on market and economic outlook? Currently, it is very competitive, and I feel a lot of advice and strategies are based on ideal situations. The answer, what I'm reading off of that, and it's a genius question.
That's a good
Carson,
question,
because you're using market and economic outlook. Something that I'm bouncing around with an idea with Lynette Rogers is follow the money. What I mean by this is that there are, in these economics, markets right now that are going to be heavily invested in. Now, let me tell you the ones that are not being invested in. Retail is at a maturation level. Bank services, banking, finance, all those services tend to be, hey, there's a lot of people getting, it's competitive and people are getting laid off there. Carson, what I would look at is go for the highly emerging hyper growth markets. AI is one. Absolutely. Everyone knows that.
Yes.
Oil and energy, nuclear fuel, space, and aviation, aerospace. Look heavily in the Rex. They're really far away, guys. I can tell you right now, mobility is going to be part of the equation that you're going to have to take a look at. Fortunately, you're in Texas and you're not in New York, where everyone is fleeing. Okay. So Tennessee, Texas, South Carolina, Florida,
North Carolina
are hot, are just hot, and
very
you might want to take a look at those things. The Foster, these nuclear power plants that are going to generate AI centers. I haven't seen the postings yet, but I've heard that these huge AI centers need all of that technology. I haven't seen follow that. That's something that I think that you can invest in.
That's growing big around here in Dallas, Fort Worth, in different areas. There is for a data center. I was surprised because I'm not in a data center, but they are adjacent to big water sources. They use a lot of water, and
you know what I heard last week?
What's that?
They are looking at the nuclear power plants to go underwater to cool cool the technology, so that they can power up all these AI centers. Is it what?
Yeah.
So
Rex, I have been seeing data center and those types. I've been seeing those postings. A lot of it is for the physical operational end of these things. Hence the water, the engineers, those people, architects for a new way of doing things. I've seen some of those postings. Of course, I'm connected to half everything in the United States. It seems someday, not everything, but there's a lot of stuff that is in this network that I am privy to because I'm so active in this network. And so I am seeing some of those postings out there, Rex.
I'm missing Texas so much. From a global standpoint, they've got to send Venezuela oil somewhere. They've got to be sending it to Texas. So I'm expecting more oil and energy out of South Texas and what they're doing in Canada with the new pipelines coming out of Alberta. Who knows? Maybe moving up to Montana would be a smart move for some people.
Rex, SpaceX and some adjacent companies that support things going on at SpaceX are some of the places that I'm seeing some of these postings. We've got a number, because I'm really closely associated with NASA over the years. And there are a lot of adjacent companies that help NASA, the ESA, JSA, all of these areas. Almost each in every big country has what we call NASA here. They have an equivalent. And you would be surprised at some of the things that are going on in some of those areas and some of the companies that help them do what they need to do.
Yeah.
When we were taking a photo of the very first black hole, and there people are like, how are you going to take a picture of a black hole? It's black. It sucks everything in. Light can't even escape. Well, there is an event horizon that is around each black hole, and right before it's a point of no return. And a lot of things that we call an accretion disk is generated right there, and that is what we're taking a picture of. And man, I'll tell you what, if you see a big accretion disk like that and everything's going in, there's your black hole right there. So it took 13 countries with technology to have to be able to come together, Rex, to be able to take a photo of a black hole. So we took a photo of M87. It's a huge black hole. I think it's like 6 billion solar masses. And when I say solar masses, suns, our sun, 6 billion of our suns. Can you imagine that? And the black hole at the center of our galaxy is Sagittarius A star, and it's only like 4.6 million. So there's just some gigantic things out there. But guys, all of this technology has got to have something simple as water and air and cooling systems and cooling technology to keep the machines going so we can do this stuff. So these are some of the jobs that I'm talking about. I don't want to get too nervous and put everybody to sleep.
All right.
Me, Rex.
Yeah, Foster, if you can put my phone number in, let people know if they want to, talk a little bit more. Please get on the phone and just give me a shout. I miss certainly.
Yeah, you miss that interaction, don't you?
Community.
Hey, Rex, in that private chat, put your phone number in there, and Maz will put it in the chat for everybody. Oh man, that music came in on us. It looks like we're over, and y'all don't have to listen to Foster talking about
from Burleson to Venus and Grandview to Godly.
So
this is the voice of Johnson County. Coco Radio.
Let's be honest, wheelchairs are heavy, bulky, and ugly. If you carry a wheelchair in your car to take care of a loved one, you know how hard it is getting that clunky, old-style wheelchair in and out of your car. Introducing the Feather Chair Wheelchair. At 13 pounds, it's the world's lightest wheelchair. It folds in seconds and fits neatly in your trunk, backseat, or closet, so you can take it everywhere. And